Oh, do you ever find yourself apologizing? Just it comes out of your mouth and you don't even realize that you say, I'm sorry, or please excuse me. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. That's the conversation that we had in the dojo today. And it was so amazing that we actually were together for almost 2 hours, a little over 2 hours. And there was just so much coming out of it. And oh my gosh, I didn't realize this, or there were realizations happening that was so fantastic. And I'm excited to share this topic with you today because we're going to be talking about living your life unapologetically. So, again, welcome to the dojo. We meet every Tuesday virtually. You're welcome to join us. But of course, if you're not able to join us live, you can at least have these videos that I post every Tuesday, and you can share the topic even though you can't be there for the conversation. Last week, we talked about valuing the divine feminine. So many people get that mixed up, divine feminine energy. They think it's about male and female. They think it's about gender, and it's not about gender at all. It's about energy. It's non-physical. And we had a really great conversation about that last week as well. So if you were not able to join us or you missed the video, I will put a link for that video at the end of this video. For today, we are going to be talking about living your life unapologetically. Now, how many times this week have you said, I'm sorry? I'm sorry for being late, speaking up, saying no, or simply taking up space? Look at this list that I put up. Um, you may want to I highly recommend you pausing the video and just looking over this list. I'm not going to read it to you, but just ask yourself, like, how much of this do you recognize in you? These are hidden apologies. And remember, everything that we speak out loud, it's a vibrational frequency that we're putting out into the universe, and it's coming back to us. Remember, whatever it is that we are feeling, that's our state of being. And when we are using words like this and we have these hidden apologies, we have to really be conscious of how we're using our words, how we're using our vibration, how we're using our frequency. Because every time you say things like, I'm not good enough, I'm too old, I'm overweight, I messed up, I'll never love again, or I should have, you're not just judging yourself. You're accepting an invitation to deny your own divinity. It's like apologizing to the creator because you somehow don't deserve to exist. This is what is meant by the phrase, judge not lest ye be judged. It doesn't mean you're being judged from the outside. There's not like this man in the sky who's watching you and keeping an eye on you. It means as you judge, you're taking yourself to that frequency. So, what frequency do you see happening when you're in that state of being where you feel the need to apologize? Remember, you are the infinite being. You never were and never can be a mistake. You are a continual masterpiece in motion. It's time to release the habit of needless apologies and the suffering it brings. But what is suffering? Suffering is thinking. If you're not thinking, you cannot be suffering. We've been so conditioned to apologize that it became part of our reflexes, and we never noticed how this conditioning keeps us rooted in the dualistic realm and in contrast to our very existence. When we apologize for existing, what are we really saying? Like when someone bumps into you and you say, "Oh, I'm sorry." Or you ask a question in a meeting, you might raise your hand and go, "This might seem like a really stupid question, but..." Or when you show emotion, when you become really emotional about something, and then you find the need to go, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just tired." Whose comfort are we prioritizing? Hidden suffering and apologies silence the soul because every unnecessary apology is a micro moment of self-abandonment, and the suffering isn't always loud. It's subtle. It shows up like diminished self-worth, suppressed expression, chronic people pleasing. There is a cost of over apologizing. You shrink yourself to fit others. You teach others you're always in the wrong. You stay stuck in guilt, even when it's unwarranted. Apologizing is not always about accountability. It's often about our fear of being judged. Remember, we teach people how to treat us. This is a really great quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. An authentic apology is rooted in awareness, not shame. Because remember, there's a contrast to everything, including an apology. Apologies can be said with integrity and empowerment, such as, "I take full responsibility for what I said." For instance, one of the women in the dojo this morning, she was a little late getting in, and she didn't come in and go, "Oh, I'm sorry I'm late." She came in and she said, "Oh, I'm so glad I'm here now. I chose to have fun over the weekend and totally be irresponsible and just enjoy. And it put me back a little bit, and now I'm catching up. So here I am." She didn't apologize. She didn't say, "I'm late." She just took ownership and was happy about it. Or maybe you might say something that somebody takes offense to. Instead of apologizing, you could say something like, "Oh, I see how that impacted you. Please excuse my choice of words. Let me rephrase that for you." There's so many ways that we can have communication without putting ourselves in that space of not being good enough, or making someone else right, you know, and that causes us to have to be wrong so that someone feels like, you know, better than. We're not responsible for other people. And you can shift from apology to ownership. You could say, "Thank you for waiting," instead of, "Sorry, I'm late. Let me clarify," instead of, "Sorry, I know I'm not making sense. My mind's all over the place. I'm trying to figure this out." Or, "I need a moment," instead of, "Sorry, I'm so emotional." Being unapologetic doesn't mean being unkind. It means being whole, present, and true to yourself. Let go of inherited guilt. Let go of the subtle suffering. Reclaim your voice. Own your worth. Walk in your power. Every time you look in the mirror, remember to say, "Thank you for choosing to be unapologetically you." Love yourself. Love who you are. Because it's time. It's time to reclaim your voice, power, and presence. Today's topic is more than just an opportunity to bring something into your awareness. It's an invitation for you to release the habit of needless apologies and suffering. The suffering from your thoughts. Remember what I said earlier? What is suffering? It's thinking. If you're not thinking, you can't be suffering. Prioritize non-duality to stop your thoughts, and you'll also stop the suffering. Now, if you're wondering, like, stop my thoughts? What the heck does that mean? How can you stop thinking? Well, when you're thinking, you're in the dualistic realm. That's that mind chatter, that monkey mind chatter, that we have. And if you're looking for a way to stop thought, a really easy way to do that is to close the eyes and concentrate on the backs of the eyelids. It's like you're closing your eyes and you're trying to see what is on the backs of your eyelids. That will take you out of thought and into awareness, into non-duality. And when you're in that awareness state, you're not using the mind, you're not engaging the mind. Now, you might not want to do that when you're standing in front of another person or maybe in a group and you're like, oh my gosh, my thoughts are taking over and I'm just going to close my eyes. But if you make this a practice, if you prioritize this as a practice of stepping out of the invitations from the dualistic mind, you'll see that it gets easier and easier for you to stop accepting the invitations of being less than. And, we've been taught, we've been conditioned, we've been programmed that apologizing is the way to show empathy or be there for another person. But really remember, we are here to empower ourselves individually, because the more we give to ourselves, the more we fill our own cup and the more we have to share. So if you're constantly minimizing yourself, if you're constantly diminishing yourself, if you're constantly using words that make you seem like you don't matter, what you're actually doing is you're prioritizing what someone else wants over what you want for yourself, what your soul is asking for. Remember, we're all one. So what you do for yourself, you do for everyone. So if you are loving yourself and prioritizing yourself, you're also doing that for other people. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone understands this. And if you have someone in your life who really doesn't get it and they think you're being selfish and you feel like, oh gosh, I've just bent over backwards trying to please this person and figure out what this person needs from me to be there for that person, and it's still not happening, you're not ever going to get there by apologizing and apologizing and apologizing. There gets to be a point where you draw the line and you say, you know what? Enough of this. I have given my power away to this experience long enough. I am ready to stand in my power. Remember, there's only two states of being, right? That state of being where you're feeling really powerful, that powerful state of being, or that state of being where you're feeling very primal, that fight, flight, or freeze. And you can only make decisions from one or two intelligence, that God intelligence, infinite intelligence, or the intelligence of fear. And this is how we can tell if we are showing up as our most loving, happy, infinite self that we are. I hope that today's topic has given you some food for thought, something to think about. Maybe go back over that list of hidden apologies. Just pay attention to, where are you on this? Allow yourself, without judgment, to think about this conversation and just ask yourself, yeah, where do I kind of fit in for this? How do I see this? Because I can guarantee you that if you've attracted this video to you, there's some question that you've been asking for answers to. And this is part of that. That doesn't mean that this is the be all end all, that, oh my gosh, okay, all my questions are answered now. But again, everything is meaningful. Everything is meaningful. There are no ordinary moments. And when we are in that state of being where we are loving life and we are living from the non-duality, when we're living in unity consciousness, life is just a breeze. You feel happy, you feel content, because the only thing that can cause struggle in your life is for you to start thinking about why there's struggle, right? You're defining an experience. You're taking an experience and you're saying, okay, this is not working out the way that I want. So you're defining it in a negative way instead of declining that invitation and saying, and wonder what's coming next. And remember, when those invitations come to you, they're all just forms arising, like waves on the ocean. And you just ride it easily, effortlessly, like water. You know, if you see water floating around rocks, it's running down a stream, it just floats around the rock. It's not saying, oh my gosh, there's a rock there. What am I going to do? It just relax, floats around, goes around it, keeps going on its destination. Be like water. Be like water. Being in awareness, loving your life, loving who you are, loving yourself. That's a gift that you can give yourself every day that will keep on giving. If you need any kind of support with any of this information, visit me at masteringyourbeliefs.com. In the meantime, this is Nancy Muller, the one and only Life Sensei, saying, ciao for now.